face of Devon?
I don't recognize her on that. I think I don't know on to it. That name was yeah, this is all the
yeah, they might have been ready to dance.
I thought they broke your leg.
Never walk Maryland. She comes out on Thursday, Maryland. I didn't know that the these no, I don't
I suppose because it's true.
But Miss Emily, we think you're about the nicest person we know. And in what dress you wear, you look like a fairy or an angel. And your gingerbread now is the best ever made. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Miss Emily.
Right along the line.
Thank you, Miss Emily.
Where those Vinnie books are. The pink ones. How dog and scratch. Bees are black. Golds are singles. Buccaneers are buds. His helmet is of yellow. I must write that down when I get back to my room. The hummingbird there. What can I say about him? Within my garden rides a bird, upon a single wheel. It spoke as if it was a music maker, as toward traveling mill. I must write that down too. What I do without poetry.
I am loneliness, and you would be victim contemplated, without hope to compensate.
Loneliness leaves indeed.
I am the fate you drew, your heart I slew. Where are they all now? Where have they gone and how? Ben Newton, where is he?
Sweeping up the heart and putting love away, we shall not want to use again till eternity. Right here beneath these steps, he used to hide books for me. Oh, Mrs. Childs was so bright with life, energy, reality. It opened my eyes wide. Why can't others write that way? And he taught me Emerson's philosophy in a way I could understand. And Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream, Spencer's Fairy Queen. He was my teacher. Why did he have to go and marry her? Unless to nurse him. Why did he have to die of that horrid consumption? Just I found out he died in peace.
He's gone. What is he now? Before me, won't you bow?
A book I have, a friend gave. His pencil here and there had notched the place that pleased him. It rest his fingers on. Now when I read not. For interrupting tears, obliterate the etchings too costly for me here.
I, shrouded loneliness in gray, and like a series swamper day, listen to loneliness, listen well. Not cry a vow, or tone bell. A sound alone in human soul, and a dirge, born to the full. Where mortals weep alone, I know, and then I grow, and grow, and grow.
Yes, you are loneliness, you builder of decay. Won't you go away? I held a jewel in my fingers and went to sleep. The day was warm. The winds were prosy. I said to repeat. I woke and chid my honest fingers. The gem was gone. And now an amethyst remembrance is all I owe.
How strange, you twist my rainy mist, till it glows and shames my foes. An amethyst remembrance sounds like some dance. I would not have left so much, for I see you.
An amethyst remembrance. And now that Charles has gone to a new pulpit in California, that's all I can do too. California's so far away. It took him 3 weeks by boat. He'll forget all about us. His placid wife will keep him happy. He doesn't belong to me, really.
And yet you make him your own, that you write alone.
When I was in Philadelphia, visiting my cousin, and they suggested that I go see Preacher Wadsworth, little did I know when I crossed his study that day just what it would need. We did not have to speak at all.
You defy the rigor of my schemes, the vigor of your dreams.
Charles was my very echo, my very soul. A sort of transcendental understanding came to us. I know he felt it too.
How can I live when you vanish in dust?
Yes, please banish loneliness, without fuss. Leave me my amethystine remembrance. Let me dream of Charles. Let me keep on writing these verses to him. He is my soul, my very soul. As a white hyacinth bulb belongs to the earth, to grow and blossom in a new day, so I belong to Charles. I will be his bride in heaven. We are made of the same soul, and God must know that.
Emily? Emily, do you know who's here?
Why no? Who's ever here anymore but you and me and your tabby creatures? Couldn't be Charles, for he's gone. It's never come. I look down the road and the most excitement these days is a peddler.
It's Helen, Emily.
Never mind. I'll come into the garden. We've always had such an interesting garden. Tea parties with pink candies.
Helen Hunt Jackson, my dear friend.
Emily, dear, what are you doing dreaming in this garden?
Oh, I weed, hoe, and plant.
And sing and weep and chant.
How have you been, Helen?
Just fine. I'm going to write a new book soon.
Sit down and tell me about it. You sound as excited as some women do about a new baby.
I'm going to publish it anonymously and call it Mercy Gilbert's Choice. Would you like to hear me? It was a turning point in Mercy's life when she met Pastor Garnes. Here at last was a man who had strength enough to influence her. During the first weeks of their acquaintance, she was conscious of an insatiable desire to be in his presence. It was a moral and intellectual thirst. From there, I go on to show her special flavor, the quality of her mind that found an answer.
That's very interesting, Helen.
Don't you recognize her, Emily? Do you care?
Care what?
It's you. You, Emily.
No, not really.
Yes, Emily, do you mind?
It's your story, Helen.
Oh, Emily, I wish you wouldn't be so remote from the world. You could write my story if you'd like. I could tell it to you.
No, Helen, it's only poetry that sings into my brain, and that's not for anyone's eyes.
You don't care then about Mercy?
Why should I care? I don't recognize her well.
Where could a writer get his emotion? Heart-warming desires, if not for life. That day, my baby boy was playing at my knee in our West Point home. And I was having tea with a neighbor. That day when the messenger came with a notice that my husband had been killed in an accident. That I could never live again, much less sing. It was black night. The that took me most from out of it.
You've been so brave.
Writing has helped so much. Folks seem to like my romances.
The picture you sent me of the little boy, I still have it. He was such a sweet, curly-haired boy.
Yes, when God took my little boy, as well as my husband, I was almost mad at God.
Maybe it wasn't God. Who knows? How does he have so much time to spy for reverend folks through a telescope? Maybe he wasn't looking for a minute.
I think he was. It all came out all right for me. I'm happy now. And I had reached rock bottom. And now my happiness is on a firmer foundation.
I'd be foolish to feel sorry for myself when you've been through so much.
Your friend Wadsworth went to California. Do you ever hear from him?
Not anymore.
Are you still writing poetry? Say some of it for me.
I can't remember much of it. I scribble it on old order blanks and envelopes, and sometimes Vinnie finds it and reads it. Vinnie's my occasional audience.
I'd love to hear some, just some you can remember.
When I was a little girl, all the funerals used to pass by the house we lived in then. I was so depressed they had to send me to Boston. I guess this poem is the result. I felt a funeral in that dream, with mourners to and fro, treading, until it seemed that sense was breaking through.
It's beautiful, Emily, but so gloomy and solitary. You aren't really happy living like this, are you? Vinnie said you seldom leave your room before. You always wear a white dress with cheap fits for you.
I'll think of a brighter verse for you. This one's to the hummingbird there. A round of evanescence, with a revolving wheel, a resonance of emerald, a rush of cochineal, every blossom on the bush that just its humble head. The male returns, probably. He's the morning sun.
Oh, beautiful. It's all so beautiful. Where do you keep them?
I suppose if I were to go out into the world again to the teas and lectures as our sister-in-law Susan does, people would call me an old maid of the Hope Trust of Homes.
No, Emily, don't make fun of yourself.
That's why I don't want to go out. Here alone, I don't have to worry about being called old. I feel a girl at heart, but the same is still there. In my garden, in my room, or in the woods, gathering trillium and pink lady slippers, arbutus, and white vine. I don't have to worry about being called old.
So many cruel old pussycats who use these words. They don't mean anything at all. It's just an expression.
I know, but they build a prison for you with their words, and they lock you in it. Like a crepuscular tomb, you can't get out.
I suppose you're right, but I still think the way out for you is to let us publish your poem.
Oh no, not ever. They're only for me. They're much too personal. For the Amethyst Remembrance, the dreams of love, the love.
Emily, they might do some good in the world. I know a publisher. Let me say something to him for you.
No, Helen, the world would not understand. Even Mr. Dickinson, who does understand some of them, even he says the queerest things. He wants me to change my commas. He doesn't know why I use nouns instead of verbs. Reader only when it pleases me. Even he would put me into a mold and shut me in it. As for Mrs. Dickinson, I haven't seen her often, but from the way she looks at me, I know she thinks I'm crazy.
I've heard Mr. Dickinson doesn't have too great an ability to comprehend a woman's intellect.
Oh, he's wise in that time. His study is scholarly. He's about the only thing I have to know.
I still think you should let your poems go, some of them to the world. What do you like them for?
Well, that's not.
But, Emily, when you toss a stone into a brook, there's an ever-widening circle of influence. If you have your poems published, it would bring you new friends, give you new journeys to make.
I want no new journeys. I just want to stay here. This house and garden belong to my father. This is my home. Here I belong.
Emily, poems are alive. They were not meant to be buried and tossed to stone.
The world wouldn't understand them. They're not like anyone else's.
Not even like Mr. Emerson.
Perhaps.
If they were my poems, I'd have them published.
But they're my poems, Helen, and I'll not send them to a publisher. I'd sooner toss them back to eternity from whence they came. God handles these affairs. It's not a mortal's business. I write for joy, that's all. I write because I can't do otherwise. But please change.
All right. change the subject, if you will. To me, there's something sad about Gray's elegy. Flowers that bloom unseen.
What in the thought of my poetry make you sad? I'll read it to you anytime you wish. It just isn't for anybody else's eyes.
Maybe someday. Someday I think the whole world will know about me.
Maybe someday my letter to the world. Who knows? Or maybe they'll be burnt when I go. Just doesn't matter. I don't see why you keep me talking about it. You're the writer. Let's talk about your book.
No,
I'm just Emily Dickinson.
Don't belittle yourself. I have a feeling your poems are real. Of course, you don't elaborate on them as I would,
I
but...
won't elaborate on them. They're for me. I used to think when I was a girl at Montorio that life might be different. But it hasn't. It's been fun, though. Just being myself.
That's the trouble with you. You're such good company for yourself. You don't share yourself with anyone.
No.
Oh, forgive me. I know what's inside you. When you were a girl at Holyoke, you had the same dreams other girls had. I can understand them.
Cookies! Lemonade!
Why, Vinnie, this is splendid. You always did think of what the body needed.
Emily, you'll be interested to know that hen placed new eggs tonight to make that fancy dessert that you went to.
That's fine, Vinnie. Mother, when she wakes up, will be wondering what we're having for supper. I must go up and see her after this.
Emily makes us the best custards and fruit. Me, I'm good for plain cooking, but not that fancy stuff. Emily just puts poetry into everything she does.
Vinnie, you've been so good to me. What would I do if I was you? Now that Father's dead and Mom's sick, Vinnie and I sort of have to stick together.
Oh, Amherst looks a lot different than it did yesterday, doesn't it, Miss Jackson?
Yes, different and yet the same.
Emily, have you seen any of that catnip around? I'm a little bit worried about my biggest tabby.
No, but I'll look.
I'm trying to talk Emily into having her poems published.
No use trying to talk Emily into anything.
Guess Vinnie knows me better than anybody else.
No, it's no use trying to talk Emily into anything. But I'm not throwing out her poetry. I really value it.
You should, Vinnie.
No, I tried to write some poetry myself once, but my apple pies are better. Got enough sense in my head to know that Emily's is better poetry than mine. It's hers I'm saving. Well, stay for dinner, won't you, Miss Jackson? What would you like to eat? Squash, don't you?
I eat anything, but I can't stay. I have to go now.
Right now? Oh, Miss Jackson, I was just about to put your name in the supper pot.
No. I'll walk around the house. You keep to your garden. I'll just say goodbye right here.
Goodbye, Helen.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Helen. Certain when this life was out, that yours and mine should be, toss it yonder like a rhyme, taste eternity.
I cannot live with you. You turn my gray to lavender, lilac, and made the amethyst a radiant time. I am no more loneliness, but crowned by such a joy, and singing aloud, and have become sweetly proud.
My loneliness has turned and run away. And now I have an amethyst remembrance that seems all my loves combined. I would not paint the picture. I'd rather be the one to stun myself with bolts of melody.
I have become a simple shining of all your heart's divine. You would probe to the center of things, explore with new soaring wings, the reaches of forever, to be no more bound by never. For with the surgery of mind, such stormy light confined, you have unknowing wrought with all that surging tide of thought, but right, claim your own, kinship with Browning and Browning, Emerson's transcendent bond, release from prison's loan.
The clover's simple fame, remembered of the cow, is sweeter than enameled realms of notoriety. Nor would I be a poet. I'd rather be the one to stun myself with bolts of melody.
She has stunned herself with bolts of melody. Surely such warmth and fire of heart, Emily's heart, will strike the world like bolts of melody and send 1,000 hearts